Hi, welcome to the step-by-step resume makeover to land your first tech job as a career transitioner webinar with me, Bettina Sue Jurashek, a practical expert in self-reinvention. So this is what you're going to learn: how to reverse engineer your resume or CV to land your dream job in tech, and not forget all of the experience you've had before since you're not a beginner in your career. Also, how to prioritize your next action steps to skill up to your dream job. And lastly, as a bonus, how to pitch yourself in one sentence on your LinkedIn profile and at networking events. So who am I, and how do I know so much about landing tech jobs as a career transitioner? Well, that's because I have reinvented myself a few times in my career. So I have 2 degrees in art history. I speak 4 languages, and I loved critical theory. Walter Benjamin, Roland Barthes, Derrida. Yep, I loved all of those people, and I love being a liberal arts major. So after I graduated with my art history degree, I made it in the art world. I had a steady job at one of the most well-known companies in the art market, and I was actually working there in New York City for almost 2 years and then moved to Berlin to work for them in Germany. So I was there for then altogether 4 years. So basically, I started getting more interested in other things, and I started teaching yoga on the side for 2 years while I was at the art job. So I reinvented myself as a yoga teacher. And as I was a yoga teacher, I made a yoga app for Android. So I followed my interest with the technology, and I learned to code on a lark by going to a one-day workshop with Rails Girls. And that opened up the whole tech world to me. All the career options people have in technology, the fact that you can work remote as a developer, so being independent in terms of your location. Also, the incredibly high salaries people in technology command. And what really drew me to it was that there were all these opportunities for learning and growth, and that this was a world where they focus on your ability and not your degree or who you know. So my history up until now was that, even though I had this steady job in the art world, I was exploring all the time, doing yoga, learning how to code, and I love the idea of being in a career or in a sector where learning and growth is just part of the game. And that's so true in technology because it's changing so fast that everybody in this in the tech world has to learn new skills, stay on top of the newest tech trends, and that really appealed to me. So basically, I saw this new world and I wanted to move into it, and I repackaged my business and people skills that I learned with my art world job. I combined that with my tech skills to move into product management. And as soon as I decided this, I quit my art job. I traveled for 6 months, and I came back in late April of 2013 to Berlin. And so I started job hunting actually in May of 2013, and I landed my first full-time paid product management job in August 2013. And ever since then, I've been working as a product manager for startup, and now for a really large company, but in their new business department, which means that we basically act like a startup. So basically, I've reinvented myself several times in my career, and I know a lot about basically how to get your foot into the door in a new sector. So Just a little quote for inspiration from one of my favorite thinkers, Alan Kay. The best way to predict the future is to create it. So if you want to go into the tech world, the best way to do it is to have a step-by-step plan on how to get the skills you need to land your dream job. And also, this you can do through rewriting your resume. So basically, we're going to rewrite your resume so that this will be your future resume that you can use to land your first tech job. So some quick things about your resume and your CV. It's a sales letter. It's not a list of facts. I feel like this is something that I wish I had known when I was earlier on my career. I would just put down, job title, where it was, what I did. But, it's really a sales letter to convince people to hire you. And it's a bridge from your past to your future. So instead of just listing everything you did in there, what's more important is to craft a narrative for yourself in such a way that the people who read your resume can describe you after looking at your resume for 20 seconds, because that's about how much time they actually spend on it. So you have to make every word memorable, every word count, and basically give them a good idea of what you did do and what you accomplished in your past, and to do it in such a way that it makes sense for the future you want. So how are we going to redo your CV? We are going to reverse engineer your CV or resume into your first tech job. We're going to start with the end in mind and work backwards from there to where you are now. So, for example, in my case, it was that I wanted to become a product manager, and I was an account manager at the time. So basically, there are no straight career paths for product management in a lot of other careers in the tech world because they're so new. So there's no set defined pathway to becoming a UX designer, for example, or a Scrum Master. So basically, the easy and lazy way to do this is to steal other people's career paths, because people are already out there doing what you want to do, and you don't need to reinvent this all on your own. So the idea is that you start with the end in mind. Say, for example, you want to become a Scrum Master, and you're going to see, okay, who has a similar background to you? Maybe you're a liberal arts major and you want to end up being a Scrum Master. So the idea is look at other people who have done that before and then just see what steps they took along the way to get there. And that's what you're going to do as your action plan, and see if you can basically use their experience, their CV, as a guideline for what the skills you need to build are. So how are we going to do that? So we are going to get stalking on the internet. We're going to do that through LinkedIn and GitHub and the Google. So LinkedIn and GitHub are two websites where people are showcasing their experience, either their professional experience on LinkedIn or their coding open source contributions on GitHub. So basically, the first thing is to check out the job descriptions at your reach organizations that you want to do. So for me, let's just say, I want to be a product manager at Google. I would go there and just take a look at, okay, what are their job descriptions? What are the things they want me to do? And write all those things that they have in there into the play sheet that comes with this webinar. So On my website, there's a place where you can sign up for my mailing list to get this play sheet, and you can basically put these future job skills that you want to get your job into the future column. So the idea is to basically maybe check out 3 job descriptions you're interested in. So, they could be the most awesome job. Say you're really interested in music. Maybe you would want to, say, work at SoundCloud or Ableton or Spotify. So, this is just to get you ideas. You don't have to apply for these, but just check out the job descriptions at your reach organizations for your job, for your dream job, and write down some of the things that they would want you to do. So for me, it would be, say, prioritize tasks, build team, build and supervise team, and write 100 user stories per day, for example. Next, find the people who have the job you want at the kind of companies you want. So this would be really great if you could find them in your network. For me, you can do this on LinkedIn. For me, what I did on LinkedIn was I looked at my network and saw like, who did I know that was doing product management or had done product management in the past. At this point, I was not very picky. I didn't choose especially a kind of company that I wanted to work at. But if you have a lot of people in your network who have the role you want, you can narrow it down by saying, okay, you want to work at a startup, you want to work at a really large corporate company, or you want to work at a medium-sized company that has gained some traction from being a startup. So basically, find the people who have the job you want at the company you want, and then do the same thing like you did for the job descriptions. See what jobs they had before that. See what they're doing now, and see what they list in their LinkedIn or their online profile. See what kind of projects they're working on, and write that into the future column on your play sheet. And, just put it all down, and then see what jobs they had right before they got that job. So, for example, some of my connections for product management, one of them was a market researcher before he became a product manager, and another one was a project manager before he became a product manager. And write down the kind of skills they listed underneath those jobs. And put those skills under current. And then the next step would be to rewrite your CV to match theirs as much as possible. So take a look at all the skills that they have currently as product managers and what they needed to get to those positions. And then look at which skills you already have, like that you've already acquired in the past, and the skills you need to acquire. So you can use a highlighter for this and, highlight out the skills that you already have for pink and the skills you need to acquire for another color. And then prioritize. I would say pick 5 big ones that you want to have in the future. And then you put them into your play sheet. I'm going to skip ahead and show you what the play sheet looks like. So basically, you have your future skills, the skills that you don't have yet, and then you have your current skills. So just list the 5 big ones. So for example, for me, it was, okay, my future skills for product management, lead a development team, strategize product roadmap, build relationships with partners across the organization, So those would be the future skills I wanted to get as a product manager. But then I would look at the current skills. So, for example, I actually had a lot of project management skills, even though that wasn't my official title. I had to do a lot of that within my other roles. So, I would basically put in current skills. I also built relationships with customers, so that's easily transferable to building relationships with partners inside the organization. Oops. Oh, right. So basically, I just saw, okay, what are the future skills I want to have as a product manager? And then looked at, okay, what are my current skills? And for the things that are missing, I would suggest that you come up with a few bridge projects, which are projects that would help you gain the skills you want to develop on your own. So, for example, I didn't have a lot of experience, say, leading product strategy. So, what would be a project I could do that could take some of my current skills and would help me gain skills in leading product strategy? Or, for example, I didn't really have a lot of experience in building a team. So, what kind of project should I work on where I had to build a team? So these are just examples of things for you to think about how you could have some bridge projects to build the skills you need. So basically, after you play around with these skills, the current skills that you have and the future skills that you want to build, brainstorm some bridge projects, and then get the skills you need in a side project or a freelance project in exchange for a testimonial or case study for your online portfolio, feedback on the project in a video chat, review or endorsement on LinkedIn, or a tweet about the project. You could say, I want you to tweet about the project I did for you 3 times within 3 weeks of project completion. And then add your new skills to your CV/resume and LinkedIn or your online portfolio. So basically, this is something that you can use to reverse engineer your CV into something that matches up with your dream job. And once you have the CV in place, it will be much easier for you to craft a convincing narrative for people who might hire you for your first tech job. So as a bonus, here's my recipe on how to write a 1-minute bio for your LinkedIn page, which can also be used for your networking introduction pitch. So for example, basically in your bio, you can say, whom can I help? What is their problem? What can I offer as a solution? And what are the real benefits of my solution? So, for example, whom can I help? Right now, I am trying to help career transitioners rewrite their CV. And I can offer a step-by-step way to reverse engineer their CV so you know what to put on it so that you can land your first tech job. So basically, that's something that you can say when you also meet people at networking. So now I know the steps I just went through, they're not easy to do. They take a lot of research and thinking and brainstorming, but it is so worth it. Because, the thing is that who would you be 2 years from now? Would you be at the same job in the same company? How does that feel? If you were still at your dream job, at your same job at the same company 2 years from now? Or what if you were at your dream job at your dream company? So take action today. take it one step at a time, fill out the play sheet, and just choose, 5 skills you want to develop and 2 projects that could help get you there, that will bridge from your old skills or your current skills to your new skills. You can ask me for help. You can email me or you can tweet me. And I will be willing to help you with anything to help you rewrite your CV. One more thing, if this has been an awesome experience for you, please share this with others and send them to my website. So thank you very much, and I hope that's been helpful.